Welcome back to another segment of Behind the Scenes of the Waltons. Today I'm going to be taking a little bit of a deeper look at actor Ned Beatty, who played Curtis Norton in the season 1 episode, The Bicycle. If you enjoy these segments, please do hit like and subscribe. The Bicycle was filmed in 1973, so this was the first time that I met Ned, and it was fairly early in his career, and the character of Curtis has been corresponding with Anne, and she's coming to Waltons Mountain, and they are going to get to know each other better, and he is in hopes that she will stay and marry him, and they will build a life together. It is a bit of a rocky road for them, but ultimately it works out in the end, and she does stay. I looked at various different resources to find out a little bit more about Ned and his life. In the IMDb, so Internet Movie Database, it says that he was born July 6th, 1937 in Louisville, Kentucky. And according to his biography there, it said he was a stocky, genial-looking supporting actor who once hailed by Daily Variety as the busiest actor in Hollywood. Ned Thomas Beatty was born in Louisville, Kentucky to Margaret Fortney and Charles William Beatty. He grew up fishing and working on farms. His hometown of St. Matthews, Kentucky is hardly the environment to encourage a career in the entertainment industry. So when asked, how did you get into show business, Beatty responded, by hanging out with the wrong crowd. That crowd includes some of the industry's most prominent names, such as John Huston, Steven Spielberg, Robert Altman, Paul Newman, Richard Burton, Charlton Heston, Marlon Brando, and Robert Redford. And in the trivia, it shares that he has appeared in 5 films that have been nominated for the Best Picture Oscar: Deliverance in 1972, Nashville in 1975, All the President's Men in 1976, Network 1976, and Toy Story 3, 2010. He has appeared with Christopher Reeve in 4 films: Grey Lady Down, Superman, Superman 2, and Switching Channels. He appeared with Burt Reynolds in 6 films: Deliverance, White Lightning, WW and the Dixie Dance Kings, Stroker Ace, Switching Channels, and Physical Evidence. He was awarded the 1997 Los Angeles Stage Alliance Ovation Award for lead actor in a musical for Showboat at the Ahmanson Theater in Los Angeles, California. In a 1992 interview with Bob Costas, he responded to the question, what makes a good actor, by saying, I feel like our job usually is to make the story happen. The leading character is the one we identify with, and we want to watch the story happen to them. The character actors are the bad guys and the good guys, the servants, the whatever, who make the story happen. I suspect that a character actor has to be a performer who's willing to create action rather than do reaction. John Wayne made a statement, I don't act, I react. And to me, that's almost a perfect way of defining what a leading actor is supposed to do. So that's the way I identify the 2 basic kinds of acting, and I think character actors have to be perhaps able and willing to pretend more. In 1987, he did an NPR interview, Fresh Air, and he talked about his many roles. Terry asked, I think your career proves that it's not the size of the role, but what the role is and how you play it that counts. And I'm thinking specifically of your role in Network, for which you got nominated for an Academy Award as Best Supporting Actor.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature, Mr. Beale, and I won't have it. Is that clear?
Now, how many minutes were you actually on the screen in that movie? And Ned replied, well, it must have been less than 3, I would think. Well, let's say between 3 and 4 minutes at the outset. To which Terry said, I think it's pretty amazing to get nominated for an Academy Award for a role that lasts under 3 minutes. And Ned said, it is, but I must tell you, anytime you read a play or a film script and they talk about your character for pages and pages and pages before you appear, that's like a license to steal. It's wonderful when they talk about you for a long time before you get there. That's like having been on screen all that time. And this particular character was focused on a lot by a wonderful actor named Robert Duvall, who talked about me all the time and his fear of me.
And you will atone.
Interestingly, the movie network also found Beatrice Straight being nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and she actually won the Oscar. Now, she only had 2 scenes and only had about 5 minutes on screen. So clearly, that material was so brilliantly written that Ned Beatty and Beatrice Straight, both having only a matter of a few minutes on screen, gave performances that were so strong that they were both nominated, and Beatrice, in fact, won. I enjoyed this 1992 article from Associated Press in Los Angeles where he talks about growing up and his training in the church. Forget the actor's studio, skip those acting classes. Ned Beatty got his training in his hometown church. He's quoted as saying, "I was part of a Protestant denomination called the Disciples of Christ Christian Church," he recalled about his early life in Kentucky. "It was the theater I attended as a kid. It was where people got down to their truest emotions and talked about things they didn't talk about in everyday life. It's where you saw some theatrics, some singing. The preaching was very often theatrical. It was a rather mild form of Southern Protestantism, and I wanted to be part of it. I loved the church. I loved the singing. They used to let the children take over parts of the service, and I always liked that. That background, plus a large dose of on-the-job experience, has helped make Beatty a busy character actor." Since his film debut as the victim of a hillbilly in Deliverance, Ned Beatty has created a series of memorable portrayals. Among the films, Network, Academy Award nomination supporting actor, Superman in its sequel, Nashville, All the President's Men, and Silver Streak. Because of his heft, I weigh the same now as I did playing football in high school, 240 pounds, he easily found character roles in stock companies. At 21, he played Big Daddy in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. The Barter Theater in Virginia and the Arena Stage in Washington, D.C. gave him more experience. When John Borman was seeking unknowns to appear in Deliverance, casting agent Lynn Stallmaster suggested Beatty try out. He barely had the train fare from Washington to New York. When he arrived, Borman announced he had filled the role. Stallmaster persuaded Borman to have lunch with Beatty. The actor, who had just broken up with his wife, spent most of the time flirting with a woman at the next table. Borman was so amused he decided to cast the would-be Lothario. He has been working ever since. "I have been amazingly lucky about getting jobs," he said. "I consider it some manner of blessing that I am not sure I deserve." He also talked at one point sort of about typecasting and industry challenges and stuff like that. And he acknowledged that there might be a Ned Beatty type in Hollywood and hopes that it refers to his versatility rather than his physical appearance. He concedes that age and weight can limit the kinds of roles he's offered. However, he feels more constrained by the quality of contemporary scripts and broader issues with storytelling in the industry. Despite these constraints, he is regarded as one of Hollywood's most respected character actors and had just an amazing wide range of roles that he played. I had not crossed paths with Ned much since he worked on the Waltons, maybe a little bit here and there. And one day in, I guess it would have been about 1999, I got a phone call. And when I answered the phone, it was Ned Beatty. And he invited me to be a celebrity guest at a tournament, a golf and tennis tournament that he was the celebrity host for in Kentucky. I was so surprised to have got the phone call, and I was so honored that he would call me personally to invite me that I said, of course I would go. My son was only about 3 at the time, and he said, bring him. We'll help. Oh, we'll get someone to help you, babysit him or whatever. And so my son came with me to Kentucky. Louisville is it's a beautiful city. It's so lush and green. And they have a fabulous zoo, which my son and I both thoroughly enjoyed. And we went there, and I think we went to an amusement park. And anyway, we had a great time during the trip. I played a little bit of tennis, and Ned was just adorable with my son. And here's this picture of him getting Devin to do a little bit of improvisation with him. And then I guess I got some sort of a lovely plaque, perhaps due to, we played mixed doubles. And, if I won something, it was probably because my partner was really good. But it was a wonderful tournament, and it was great to spend a little bit of time with Ned once more. Also from IMDb, it said he was blessed with 8 children. Ned Beatty enjoyed golf and playing the bass guitar. He gave himself until the age of 70 to become proficient at both. He died at age 83 of natural causes on June 13th, 2021 in Los Angeles, California. I had the chance over the years to see him in a variety of the different films and things that he did, and always found him wonderful in his roles and very entertaining. And even more so, I loved that what I knew of him was that he was just a warm-hearted, genuinely nice person, and that meant so much to me. And it really meant a lot to me how kind he was to my son. I think that says a lot about a person. So it was an absolute joy to have known him, and I hope you have enjoyed this little in-depth look at some aspects of his life and career. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next time for more behind the scenes of the Waltons and more Ask Judy. Thanks for watching.